I'm Professor the Youth today. I'm here to tell you about the Sea Otter Ecosystem. The first thing I want to talk to you about is a little thing I like to call eelgrass. Its kingdom is Plantae and its phylum is Magnolophyta. That's been mispronounced. Secondly is kelp. It is from the kingdom of Protista and the phylum of Heterocontophyta. Next is the northern abalone, which is from the kingdom of Animalia and the phylum of Mollusca. Fourthly, there is sea urchin, which is also from the kingdom of Animalia, and it is from the phylum of Echodermata. Lastly is the sea otter. It's from the kingdom of Animalia, and it's from the phylum of Chordata. Being a hip young kid today, I know a thing or two about a little thing I like to call photosynthesis. Ever heard of it? Well, you should have, because it's the coolest thing that ever happened. There's this thing that I'd already told you about called photosynthesis. Do you remember when I said that? Good. Plants and algae use this process, called photosynthesis, as I mentioned, to synthesize glucose using sugar, light, and carbon dioxide, with oxygen as a byproduct. It's pretty frickin' cool, if you ask me. Basically, without it, we wouldn't even be alive, so think about that for a second. Kelp and eelgrass are producers, so they're the ones who do photosynthesis. Sorry, excuse, I've got something in my throat, maybe. Without them, the sea otter community wouldn't work, so that's why kelp is referred to as the keystone species of the group. Urchins and abalone eat kelp and eelgrass, so they are herbivores, or, something I made up myself actually, primary consumers. Sea otters eat sea urchins and abalone, so they're carnivores, or, following the same pattern, secondary consumers. When a sea otter dies, it's eaten by bacteria, which is something called a decomposer. It basically brings the whole thing full cycle. It's cool as heck, and if you don't believe me now, wait till I tell you the next exciting fact while I'm riding my skateboard. Whoa, I'm on a skateboard! Whew. Without photosynthesis, there would be no energy circulating in the ecosystem, because that's where it all comes from. Primary consumers eat producers, then they are eaten by secondary consumers. Without photosynthesis, there would be no energy to transfer, and nothing would exist. Oh, kickflip! Not to mention that we need oxygen to breathe. Check out this finger 101 as I skateboard by it. All the animals I just mentioned are threatened species, because there's this little type of person you might have heard of. It's called people. And they kill every type of animal. So basically every animal in this whole darn ecosystem is in danger of us. Isn't that wacky? Hey, check this out. I'm grinding. Cool, huh? But not as cool as killing animals. And by cool, I mean tragic. In an ecosystem, there's something called succession, which means that animals that exist cease to exist, and new animals take their place. It's really kicking awesome, if you ask me, because basically, it's just evolution taking its course, you know, survival of the fittest, whatevs, ha ha ha. Okay, for the next part, I'm gonna be surfing. With succession, there's something that's eventually reached called the climax ecosystem, in which very little changes, including populations, birth rates, and death rates. Many people say that the keystone species of the group is the most important one. That's because that's what it is by definition. The keystone species of this group is kelp, because without it, everyone else in the cycle would die, because there'd be no one to produce the photosynthesis and get the energy circulating, if you know what I mean. I think you do. Have you learned something today? I have. Whoa, kickflip!